which has not been operationalized. And again, it will be one of those priority areas because we need to ensure that there is enough security, not only for tourists, but also for the citizens. I will also propose that we take advantage of technology, the closed circuit CCTVs for surveillance. We work with communities to disseminate matters of security, and that it is a collective responsibility for all of us, working with the relevant ministries and state departments that handle matters of safety, so that our tourists then come and get the product that they came for. Tourism is the product that sells joy and adventure, and security easily kills that, that reason why tourists visit. And also working together with police so that they become enablers and facilitators and do not hamper our security. We need community policing, also information to the tourists on security briefs. And I want to say that there is a lot that can be done, tangible activities to enhance security and safety in the tourism sector.
Jeanette.
Mr. Speaker.
I'm giving Jeanette because he didn't ask any question. You already asked questions. Yes, Jeanette.
No, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to say that my constituency borders the Maasai Mara. So I have a lot of information from there which I wanted to share with the committee and bring to the attention of the nominee. Mr. Speaker, for example, between the Mara and Serengeti, there is a lot of interconnection. The government sometimes, I don't know whether they are serious about tourism, because there's an airstrip in Migori which was tarmacked recently. When the tourists come from Nairobi, they land in, let's say, Kichwatembo in Mara, then they are connecting to Serengeti. Mr. Speaker, they are lifted from Serengeti, from Mara to Migori, then they disembark, they get into a bus, they go to the border in Hispania so that their passports can be stamped, then they are brought back by a bus, then they again board, then they go fly to Serengeti. Or they fly from Mara to Kisumu, just for immigration services only. And they are around between 5 and 10 flights every week. So sometimes I wonder whether we want to make people comfortable or we want to make their life difficult so that they disembark, go to the border, just stamp his passport so that he can go to Tanzania, then come and board, and then go to Serengeti. Madam Nominee, if this committee approves you, what do you think you can do about that? Or you have no powers over that? It's an immigration issue.
Yes, Mary.
Honorable Chairman, this is from a Kenyan, and I think it's a Kenyan from Busia. He's saying, ask Mrs. Miano when new places like the ancient rock art in Busia will be considered in the tourism circuit. I think it's helping you to boost local tourism by enlisting new ancient places or new tourism sites across the country.
Nominee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the information by Honorable Jeanette and undertake to consult with the Ministry of Immigration, to the Department of Immigration, because I said easy access is key to supporting tourism.
Nominee, it doesn't need any consultation. If you confirm that information is right, call your counterpart and tell him go and open a Department of Immigration at this point.
You've read my mind. I was getting there.
Yes.
Because we have to consult, we work together, and go for action.
Yes.
I'm an executor.
Good.
Yep.
And
on Busia, I agree, our counties, we need to map out the tourist attractions and what counties and regions have to offer. so that we package the diversification that I so much believe in and I talked about, that we need to diversify the products that we have. I will take up not only specifically for Busia, but other sites that can help boost tourism in this country.
Nominee, I want to tell you that not once, not twice, not thrice, the ministry that you have been proposed to lead has mapped out Kenya over and over to see where new sites for tourism are. I've seen them in Bungoma, I've seen them in Trans Nzoia, I've seen them in Pokot, I've seen them everywhere. So don't reinvent the wheel. Focus on actualization and execution. That is what is required. Let me also ask you, Honorable Rebecca, you are coming into a ministry that has at one time been the highest foreign exchange earner for the country. And many, many of your predecessors, there was one who appeared before a committee such as this, chaired by my predecessor, assured parliamentarians how he's going to market tourism, how he's going to use Kenyans to market tourism, how he's going to do everything for tourism to flourish. We saw him turn up with a British citizen of African origin to market tourism in Malindi. Is that how to assist Kenyans participate in this important industry? And if you are confirmed, because tourism in Kenya is a clear highway, what is it you are going to do that is different from what the others have been doing to improve the arrivals in Kenya from the current 2.2 million to 10 million or even more? I saw the other day on BBC television, citizens in Barcelona were demonstrating, demanding that they reduce the arrivals of tourists, that there were too many. What do they go to see in Barcelona? Probably the beaches only, or Barcelona Football Club. We have wonderful game parks, we have wonderful beaches, we have wonderful wildlife everywhere, we have wonderful culture, we have scenery everywhere. What are you going to do that will be different from those who have come before you to profile Kenya as a #1 tourist destination? That's what this committee and the country wants to hear. Robust management, whatever, what is it you'll do that is different? Because those slogans, we have had them before.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tourism is a great exchange earner. Currently, it's not the first, as it should. It's #3 in exchange earning. And we have an opportunity. I believe the tourism sector is easy to turn around, much easier than others that require a lot of work. Mr. Chairman, what I will do differently is to know that people support what they believe in. We must then use our citizens, use the local people, our fellow Kenyans, to take the pride of Kenya and market it ourselves. I believe if we do that, we get the patriotism, the love of our Kenya, and then we give opportunities to the people with the talent. And by the way, Mr. Chairman, all the employees in the tourism sector and hotel sector are 80% youth. That is a low-hanging fruit. If we partner with them as individuals, as corporates, as companies, and support them fully, and we tap into their creativity and their prowess, I believe if I take that trajectory, we will see numbers. And Mr. Chairman, 10 million is still below the weight of Kenya. At 55 million, we should be talking about beyond 20. And Mr. Chairman, with the support of Parliament to put the right policies, and with all the stakeholders, we have a very robust private sector, development partners. We must go out there and turn around this tourism and increase numbers. I want to give you comfort that I am an executor. I'll give it my all, more than ever before, and especially because when you get a second chance, you must also double up your efforts, your delivery, and that is the reciprocation that I will owe if I am found fit and I am approved to hold this most progressive, exciting docket that can just turn around this country of ours.
Will you also consider, if you are confirmed, to revolutionize organizations like Brand Kenya? I have gone to functions out of this country, and you see a banner there, Brand Kenya. When you go there, you see wood carvings, and tea, coffee, Maasai shukas, and that is all. Nothing else. And they say they're branding Kenya. We were in London last October, I think, for celebration of the 75 years of the Commonwealth. Part of the participants in the preparation was the Kenya High Commission. When we went to the opening of the event, on the list was Maasai dancers to celebrate the 75 years. Who turned up? Black men with the heavy muscles from West Africa as Maasais. And when one of our colleagues asked which part of Maasai land do you come from, they disappeared after a very poor performance. Now, you know, those misrepresentations undermine our tourism as well. Lastly, from me, we used to have, when I was in Foreign Affairs, a demand from the Ministry of Tourism to post what they call tourist attaches and trade attaches. And let me tell you how fallacious it is. And we want to know how you'll do it differently. You pick somebody from the Ministry of Tourism, probably ushered through lobbying, and you post that person to China to sell Kenya tourism. For 2 years, he's learning the language and his way around. The next 1 year, he's struggling to know where to go to market Kenya. The fourth year, his term is over, he comes back. You send another one under the same circumstances. You send somebody to Russia, same thing. You send somebody to France, same thing. What are you going to do differently to market our country in major destinations? China has more than 200 million Chinese going out as tourists every year. If you just get 2, 3 of those, you can imagine the impact on our GDP.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Depends. Just to add on what you're saying, Mr. Speaker, also it depends on when you arrive at the country. What do you see first?
Yes.
Look at the kind of airport we have. It looks like a bus park, Mr. Speaker. There's no difference between that airport and Migori bus park, where people park matatus and everything. You can't even have a parking space, Mr. Speaker. You go round and round. You don't know where to park your car. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I met an Arab in Dubai. I asked him, why are people coming here like this all the time? He told me the sheikh called the immigration and everyone who deals with visitors and told them, anyone who comes to this country is my visitor, and you must make sure that he's handled well. Mr. Speaker, it also depends on how we handle our visitors. When you are parking them in Migori bus park, how can they be happy?
So, nominee? can you give the people of Kenya an assurance that you'll act differently? Market Kenya in a different mode and different version, using different tactics and different people.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The tourist industry and some of the things we do in Kenya, we are caught in a time warp. Comfort zone, doing the same things the same way, carvings, the beach. We have not stretched our imagination. We need to stretch our imagination out of the comfort zone, come with new products, reimagine our tourism sector, rethink, refresh our brand, and that will inform some of the things we are going to do based on what Honorable Junette has said, and how we are going to position our product, how we are going to position our country to attract more tourists. It will mean getting new facilities, or at least renovatory should have. So, Chair, I will be very innovative, transformational, wanting to lead teams that are high performance, and will want to rally this vision through so that we get results. On the matter of attachés, when you described, it reminded me of my experience at the Trade Department or the Trade Ministry, and it is a time for us to get our attachés based on their skills, their qualifications, their competences, based on what they really can bring for the country. We need to check even their linguistics so that we send the correct people. I am a believer, if you have the right teams, well equipped, with competencies, you'll be able to get much more. And this is...
On a point of order, because I think the CS nominee did not get your question. Because when I listened to you, the speaker was asking, is there a need to have a trade attaché, a tourism attaché? Why not have what you have been calling a one government approach? Whoever is at a mission has the capacity and ability, and you're able to train them on how to market tourism. Because from what the speaker was saying, the example he gave, you send someone, it takes 4 years moving around China. Why not use the ambassador in China to market Kenya, to market Kenya as a tourism destination, and even use their locals there with the branding you are talking about?
Mr. Chairman, if we get the right people, they are likely to do very well in multi-skilling. There will be no distinct or dramatic difference from an attaché who can do trade to the one who can do tourism. And I think if we combine those roles, it will be more efficient, more affordable, so long as we get the right people, a selection procedure that is fair and firm when we are getting the skills that we need, and we will not need to duplicate a Kenyan handling this, another one handling this, while one person can be very well equipped and able to deliver that service. Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, she never answered my question about compensation.
Wildlife.
Yeah, human-wildlife conflicts. The forms are not right, and they are not paid. 10 years down the road, we have not been paid. So please tell us what you're going to do differently.
I am aware there is a backlog on compensation. The process has started and it's picking up again. Remember, in my previous docket, I was invited for a function earlier this year, and there was a launch of the compensation. And Mr. Chairman, like I said, and I remember we discussed here, that compensation that is delayed may at times not be compensatory as it should be. So in my mind, I thought I had responded to the question, but I think this is something to give priority.
Excellent.
We do know that there are fiscal constraints, but prioritizing cost containment, removing non-essentials will still afford some resources to undertake the needed compensation.
Rebecca, we are coming to an end. You had Naisula read to you what the public was asking. Mary Maasai, Kami, and Mishi, and Mule. There are a few more from the public. What plans will the nominee put in place to ensure challenges of open skies are solved? I think that was asked by Owen. You don't need to answer. Somebody asked us, what are the qualifications for one to work as a tourism driver? I think that one must be. What plans will Mrs. Miano put in place to ensure there's clear database of all Airbnb's operators, as well as mitigate the challenge of conflict of interest between hotel keepers and Airbnb's operators? That one you had, I think, answered. Tourism sector has several statutory funds, such as Tourism Fund and Tourism Development Fund. I think this was asked and you answered. There is widespread concern in the local hotel industry regarding the impact of current budget cuts on domestic travel and hospitality in Kenya. What steps will be taken to prevent further shutdowns and staff layoffs in the hotel industry? And then the government of Kenya still holds substantial shares in hotels like Hilton and other lodges. If appointed, what can we expect from CS Miano in terms of GOK shareholding in non-performing hotels and in safeguarding public funds? Those that you have answered, you can skip. Yeah, just probably the last one.
Mr. Chairman, on the issue of cost containment and how it can affect the hotel industries, I think we need to rationalize industry, and even for the hoteliers to optimize their operations and maintenance costs, get maybe alternative, cheaper ways of O&M, and that way they will continue offering rates that are competitive and affordable. I believe, Mr. Chairman, like we said before, if we are able to sensitize our community on local tourism, and I'll give you just a very quick examples. We have many opportunities to have products together with industries that can appeal to our communities. And because I am a lady and conversant with the chamas, we can have products that those chamas can uptake, get away from the traditional meeting in one home and the other in a merry-go-round and buying hot pots and all that. Maybe that cost, if there is a product, we will give the ladies and the groups a better experience at affordable rates, and therefore we must all put on our thinking, innovative minds and see how to cope with the situation we have by coming up with diversified products, affordable products, and rallying uptake from the groups that we know can have. I must say that maybe the young people are more uptakers of tourism. When I'm going up country and I pass through Naivasha, Delamere, you will not miss a group of youth who have put themselves together to go to a certain destination. The industry must rise to that challenge and that occasion and offer them products that they'll be able to uptake with ease, affordability, efficiency. And Mr. Chairman, I think the possibilities are endless on what we can do to revamp and operationalize and even develop and promote our tourism, not only international but domestic. On safari lodges and government shareholding in some of these hotels, the executive order has given this to the National Treasury, but I'm sure we will work in consultation with the National Treasury to get the best strategies to transform, reform, and work on this.
Thank you. I'll now ask you one or two mundane questions. Have you ever been adversely mentioned in an integrity-related report or investigation?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Apart from what Mish read, that you had no evidence. Do you hold any leadership position in any political party?
No, Mr. Chairman, I don't.
What is your net worth?
Mr. Chairman, my net worth is 444 million shillings.
444. How much were you worth when we last vetted you?
When you vetted me about 22 months ago, my net worth was 397. Mr. Chairman, I have not increased the assets, but what I have done is to revalue modestly the properties, taking into account the appreciation, and that's why it is unrealized, but it is an effect of valuation to be on the reasonable side of things.
Good. We have looked at your documents and compared